Hello everyone. Today's joke of the day is, why shouldn't you trust atoms? Stay tuned to find out. Our learning target today is I can write an equation through 2 points. So today we're going to be writing equations again, but this time we will be given 2 points instead of having a slope, okay? But similarly, we still just want to write an equation in slope-intercept form, and we need the same 2 things, okay? The first thing we need is we need the slope. And we will find this using the slope formula that we've used before, okay? Then we also need to find the y-intercept. Okay, and we will find this using the same method that we used before, substituting in a point, okay? So remember, we can find the slope using this formula, m, which is the slope, remember that, equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And again, it doesn't matter which point we choose as x1, y1, and which point we choose as x2, y2, as long as we are consistent. Okay, so now we're going to write the equation for the line that passes through both of our given points. Okay, so right here, I'm going to say that this first pair is going to be x1, y1, and the second pair is going to be x2, y2. Okay, again, doesn't really matter. But now I can find my slope using my formula. So that's my first step, is finding the slope. So our slope is going to equal y2, which is 6, minus y1, which is 4, divided by x2, which is 4, minus x1, 3. We'll simplify that. 6 minus 4 is 2, divided by 4 minus 3 is 1. So that gives me 2 over 1, which simplifies just to 2. Okay, so my slope is equal to 2. Okay, and now we're kind of where we were at from yesterday's learning target. Okay, here we can write out y equals 2x, 2x plus b. Okay, and we don't know what b is, but we can use one of our points to figure it out. So we can use one of our points to substitute in for x and y. And now it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to pick the point 4, 6, just because I want to. Okay, again, I could pick either point and we should get the same thing. Okay, so if we substitute that in, we get 6 is our y value, equals 2 times 4 plus b. And now we just have to simplify and solve for b. So we'll get 6 equals 8 plus b, and then we subtract 8 on both sides to get 6 minus 8 is negative 2, okay, is equal to b. Okay, so b equals negative 2. M equals 2, and we can just write our equation in slope-intercept form. So our final answer is going to be y equals 2x minus 2. Let's look at the next example here. Okay, again, I'm just going to choose that this first ordered pair is going to be x1, y1, and the second ordered pair will be x2, y2. Okay, and we'll use our formula up here, so we know that our slope is going to be equal to negative 10, which is y2, minus a negative 1, okay, all divided by 2 minus negative 1, okay. Well, minus a negative is the same as adding, so we're going to chop in the numerator and the denominator, okay, and that gives us negative 10 plus 1 is negative 9, divided by 2 plus 1, which is 3. Okay, and then we can simplify that. Negative 9 divided by 3 equals negative 3. So our slope is equal to negative 3. Right? Now we have to think about our equation y equals mx plus b. Okay, we still don't know what b is, but we do know m now. So we can figure out that we have y equals negative 3x plus b. And we can choose one of our points. Now, I'm going to choose the point negative 1, negative 1. Okay, you could also choose the other point, and you should try choosing the other point to see that you get the exact same thing as I did. Okay, so here we go. We'll substitute in negative 1 for y and negative 1 for x, and then we will simplify. So if negative 1 equals negative 3 times negative 1, well, negative times a negative makes it positive, and 3 times 1 is 3, plus b. Okay, and then we'll solve for b by subtracting 3 on both sides. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4 is equal to b. Okay, so we can just use our equation here, we know that y equals negative 3x minus 4. And that is our solution. It's our equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, let's look at our next example here then. 3, negative 1, and 6, 8. So this gives me x1, y1. This will be x2, y2. Okay. Our slope will be y2, 8, minus y1, negative 1, and x2, which is 6, minus x1, which is 3. And then we'll chop chop. 8 plus 1 is 9, divided by 6 minus 3, which is 3, and that gives us 3. So our slope m, is equal to 3. Okay. So now we know that y is equal to 3x plus b. Okay. And we can substitute in our point. Let's choose the point 3, negative 1. So I'll take negative 1, substitute that in for y, and I'll do 3 times 3 plus b. Okay, we'll simplify. We'll get negative 1 equals 9 plus b. Subtract 9 on both sides. Negative 10 equals b. So that's our y-intercept there. Our final equation will be y equals 3x minus 10. Okay. Here we want to look at another example. Again, I'll label x1, y1, and x2, y2. You should be doing this along with me, labeling everything so that we can keep track of it. So our slope will be y2, negative 1, minus y1, negative 7. Okay, over x2, 6, minus x1, negative 3. Okay. Subtracting a negative is the same as adding, so I'll chop there. Get negative 1 plus 7 is 6, over 6 plus 3, which is 9. Okay. Now we can simplify this. Okay, they both have a factor of 3. 6 and 9 both have a factor of 3, so this simplifies down to 2/3. So our slope m is going to be equal to 2/3. Okay. And now we can use our equation. So we'll have y equals 2/3 x plus b. Okay, and I can pick either point that I want. I'm going to pick this point here, the point 6, negative 1. Okay, so I'll substitute those in. I'll get negative 1 equals 2/3 times 6 plus b. Okay, now this looks a little tricky, but we can remember that 6 is the same as 6 over 1, and we're just multiplying here. Okay, so we can actually cancel out a little bit. We know that 6 and 3 both have a common factor of 3. So this cancels out, and we can take out those factors. This becomes 1, that becomes 2. So really, 2/3 times 6 is going to be 2 times 2, which is 4. So this will simplify to negative 1 equals 4 plus b. Subtract 4 on both sides. Negative 5 is equal to b. Okay, so our equation here is y equals 2/3 x minus 5. All right, just look at a couple more examples here. We have x1, y1 we can label, and x2, y2 that we can label there. Our slope will be y2, which is negative 20, minus y1, which is 5, and x2, negative 9, minus x1, which is 6. Negative 20 minus 5 gives us negative 25. Negative 9 minus 6 is negative 15. Okay, well here, these both have a factor of negative 5. Okay, so we know that that's actually going to be positive. We'll divide by 5 to get 5 over 3. Okay, our slope is going to be 5/3. Okay, I'm going to use the point 6, 5 here. Oh, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. We'll have y equals 5/3 x plus b, and then I'm going to substitute in the point 6, 5, just because I don't want to mess with the negatives. Okay, so I'll get, here we have 5 equals 5/3 times 6 plus b. Okay, and remember this is again times 6 over 1. Okay, we're going to be multiplying, so we can simplify this a little bit. 3 and 6 both have a factor of 3, so we can cancel those out, and we get 1 and 2 respectively. Okay, so we'll end up here with 5 equals 5 times 2, which is 10. 10 over 1 times 1, which is 1. So just 10 over 1, which is 10, plus b. Okay, we'll subtract 10 on both sides. 5 minus 10 is negative 5, and that is equal to b, our y-intercept. Okay, so our equation here is going to be y equals 5/3 x minus 5. All right, one last example here. We have x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2. Okay, we'll do our slope is equal to y2, which is negative 4, minus y1, which is 4, and x2, which is negative 1, minus x1, which is 3. So we'll get negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8, divided by negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. Negative 8 divided by negative 4 is going to be a positive 2. So our slope here is going to be 2. We'll have y equals 2x plus b. And then to solve for b, I'm going to substitute in the point 3 comma 4. Okay, so we'll end up with y, or just kidding. We will end up with 4 equals 2 times 3 plus b. And then we get 4 equals 2 times 3, which is 6, plus b. Subtract 6 on both sides to solve for b. We get negative 2 is equal to b. Okay, and we can write our equation. Y equals 2x minus 2. All right, so just remembering that when we are writing an equation given 2 points, we first need to find the slope, and then we can use our point to find the y-intercept. All right, so for the joke of the day, why should you never trust an atom? Well, because they make up everything. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.